my name is Bernadette McDonald, and today is my first actual interview on our podcast. First person up would actually happen to be my cousin, long lost, distant cousin, Gus Baliarda. Welcome, Gus.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Cool. So let's chat, shall we?
Yes, why not? Let's have fun with these.
Hey. So the title of this group is called What is Your Real Name? Gus,
Yes.
what is your real name?
Well, which one?
Your birth name.
My real birth name is Joseph Delphine Berard.
Huh. Did you
Yes.
change it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I prefer using Gus Baliarda.
Ah. Any particular reason why you use that name?
Well, because that's the name that I was raised with all my life.
Okay, so you've been adopted?
Yes, I was adopted and I was baptized Gustavo de Jesus Baliarda y Gil.
Wow, that's a lot of vowels.
No, you don't want to hear the whole name thing.
So where were you adopted from?
I was adopted from Quebec by a Cuban family.
Okay.
Yes, so that's why I have in the background that building. It's the institution where I was adopted from.
Oh,
That's
an awfully big building. Is the whole facility an orphanage?
Yes. Actually, the building in the center, it's a church.
Okay.
And some part of it has other things, and then on the sides, the building on the sides are the place where they had the babies.
Oh, okay.
They had many babies to a point that they were preparing 13,000 bottles of milk a day.
Wow.
So it was a
big cow for that.
A big cow, yeah, a big cow. And many people fixing all those bottles, right?
Absolutely. So how did you find out you were adopted?
I always knew. My parents always told me.
Okay. Do you know why you were placed for adoption?
Well, the story that I know or what I've heard from my birth mother was that there were too many in the house, so she had to, or her mother forced her to put me up for adoption. That's what she told me.
I'm pretty sure it was troubling times.
Yes, sorry about that.
That's okay. So how did you end up in the actual orphanage? Like, what's the process? Did your biological mom just take you there, or?
Well, she was taken by her mother.
Oh, okay.
The orphanage, it's like quite far from the town where she lived, which is in Chicoutimi, which is driving distance right now. It's like about 3.5 hours from Quebec City. The orphanage is in Quebec City. So the mothers-to-be would go in there and live there until they had the baby, and they were giving the option to either give him for adoption or keep him. In this case, well, her mother said that she had to give the baby away.
How heartbreaking.
Yeah, well, that's life.
Well, yeah, that's true. And that's a different era too. And I'm sure a lot of people even of this era still experience that type of position to be in.
Yeah. Still nowadays happens. So I don't think it's something that's going to be gone from the history pages. I think it's going to be happening all through history of
And
mankind.
yeah.
So,
But for those on the flip side, it is also another option.
yes, I think it's better than having an abortion.
Absolutely. There's so many people out there that can't have children of their own and would absolutely love to have a child, and it wouldn't matter, where they were from or what their background is and so forth. So saying that, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Cuba and Puerto Rico. Yes,
Wow. How did that come about?
Well, my parents lived there in Cuba.
Okay.
So, and then in 1960, when the Castro took over, we moved to Puerto Rico.
Okay.
And I was already 5 years old, so I grew up there until 2003 that we moved to Florida.
Okay, so from birth until 5 years old, you were in the orphanage?
No, I was adopted when I was 4 months old. I was born in October 1955, and I was adopted in February 1956. So, 4 months.
Was the family always planning on adoption? And, how did they introduce you to their family?
Yeah, they were planning, and everybody knew about the adoption. And actually, they tried, and they had set dates already 2 times to be prior me. And my mother's adoptive mother, which I call mom,
Mm-hmm.
yes, she her dad passed away, so they had to postpone the trip to Canada to adopt me, or to adopt a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they were ready, then my father's dad passed away, so they had to postpone it again.
Wow.
So then the next time it was me. So I was the lucky one. It was meant to be.
Absolutely. How many languages do you speak, Gus?
English and Spanish. Spanish is my main language. So excuse the English, please.
Okay. How did you feel when you found out you were adopted? And how old were you?
I can say, or I can't tell an age, because I've known always. In the institution, they used to tell the future parents that they should tell the baby as soon as possible, always. And I was told all the time. And actually, I am proud. I feel proud of being adopted.
And you absolutely should. I mean, you're put in a position where you have a loving couple who absolutely want a child and are able to facilitate all your needs and wants. How did it come to play? At some point, I would assume that you would be curious about your birth mother. And how did that happen?
Well, I think that's a very, very personal issue.
Okay.
Some people do want to know. Some people don't want to know, and some people, they just don't care. And why? And I am in that category. I never felt that urge to find who my birth parents were. And I try to think why I was thinking like that, or why I was acting like that. I think it was because all my needs as a person were fulfilled by my adoptive parents. They were excellent parents. They gave us all we needed, and especially love and care.
That's absolutely beautiful. There should be more people that are fortunate enough like that.
Yes. Not everyone is so fortunate, and as a matter of fact, I know that there's a lot of people that are not as lucky as I was, and my adoptive sister, because I have an adoptive sister too.
Okay.
But Yes. There are others that
So
are
how
not
many
so lucky.
siblings do you have, Gus? Do you know?
Well, you mean biological?
Yes.
Yes, I have. Wow. Okay, I have 6, 7 more.
Wow.
Half siblings, yes.
Have you met them?
Only 2 of them.
Are they all aware of you?
Yes. Only the 2 on my maternal side are the ones that I know, and I'm in touch with them. I met them. We get along.
Good.
They are great guys. And I look forward to go see them as soon as I can.
Absolutely. Have you met your birth mother yet?
Yes.
And how did that go? How did it come about?
Well, that happened back in 1996.
Okay.
That happened in 1996. My one day I was at the house with my mom. We were watching some TV, and she asked me to go to a mailbox to get the mail. When I picked the mail, I saw a letter from her cousin that lived in Miami. We were living in Puerto Rico at that time. Excuse me. And I told her, "Hey, why is he writing you a letter? You guys never write to each other. You just grab the phone and call."
Mm-hmm.
And, well, I don't know. Let's see. And she opened the letter, and I looked at her while she was reading, and you could see her face of surprise of what she was reading.
I can imagine.
And the letter was saying that it was from Canada. He said that he received a letter from Canada, and they were looking for me. Of course, and they were trying to locate me. And he said, "Well, I know him. I know where he is, but I don't know if he's aware that he was adopted. And what I'll do is I'll send them all this information and let them take it from there." So my mother, when I saw that surprise, I asked her, "What's going on? What's the problem?" And she said, "Look, what we've been talking all along, all our lives, is happening at this moment." Well, what we were talking
in the making.
Yes. So we were all the time we would talk about what would I do in case that I found or I got in touch with my biological family or my birth mother. What would I do? How would I react? And I would always say, well, I think that I'm grateful that she didn't had an abortion, so I was able to have a life.
Yeah.
So she has the right to know who I am, where I am, and how I am. But my mother, it's you, referring to her, to my mother. Why? Because she's the one that raised me. She's the one that went through bad moments, endless nights of not sleeping, etc. So that's my mom.
So what was your conversation with your adopted mom, your mom, in a sense?
Well,
how did she feel about it?
Well, she was very open all the time about my adoption and what would happen in case that she popped up somewhere, and she gave me the letter right away. So I jumped and I grabbed the phone and called. At that moment, you see, I think it's an instinct. So by instinct, even though I never looked or tried to find out, as an instinct, well, I jumped off the chair and I grabbed the phone and called the number on the letter.
Yeah.
They were closed at that moment because it was after 5 p.m. And the person that answered the phone told me, said that he was the cleaning person and that I should call the next day. So I did. I called the next day, and I spoke with the person that sent the letter, and she asked me many, many questions, and some questions that it made me really uncomfortable, like why you didn't look for your mother.
Oh,
And
okay.
that made me feel bad. And I said, well,
Absolutely, it would. I mean, you're raised with a loving family that's always been open with you, and no reason or concern for you to even potentially look for other family or your biological mom. I can totally understand that.
yeah, well, I told her that I never had that need.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then she asked me, okay, do you want to meet her? Would you like to know who she is?
Mm-hmm.
And then I said yes. Yeah.
And how long was it from the time you got the letter, spoke to, I guess, the facilitator who you had to answer questions for? How long from that point till the time you actually spoke to her on the phone or in person?
3 days.
3 days?
3 days. Of course, my birth mother doesn't speak English or Spanish, only French.
Okay.
I don't speak French, and so they needed someone to translate the conversation. She set up an appointment for 3 days to have a conference call, and it happened 3 days after.
But what was your first question to her, Gus?
Do I have brothers and sisters?
Wow.
That was my first question. I believe, or I felt that, when I got to know that I did have two brothers,
Mm-hmm.
there was an instant connection with them. I felt for them, and I call them my brothers. I don't call them my half brothers.
Absolutely. I myself have several siblings. Technically all half, except my twin. And by the time my journey is all said and done, there'll be 10 children. 5 girls, 5 boys.
You see?
I know. I've always wanted to be from a big family. So it works out well for me.
Yes.
But hindsight now, looking back on your first conversation with your biological mom or birth mom, are there any questions you wished you had asked or regret asking?
Well, that conversation on the phone, it wasn't very long because of the language barrier.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't ask any question, only that I wanted to know if I had siblings. And then I told her, yeah, she wanted to hear my voice. I wanted to hear her voice also.
Mm-hmm.
And before finishing the conversation, I told them, I live in Puerto Rico, and you're welcome to come visit me whenever you want.
Wow.
And as a matter of fact, 2 months later, she was landing in Puerto Rico.
Wow, that's quick.
She took my invitation right away.
Nice. So you have other siblings. Have you had an opportunity to meet them or be with them?
Yes, I met them in 2018.
Okay.
I met.
Was it like a reunion?
Well, my wife and I, we took a DNA test, and just to play around.
Okay.
We were not looking for anything in a specific. Just, it was on sale, and my wife said, for your birthday. And of course, she bought one for herself too.
Of course.
And yes, we took it, and I was already in touch with my brothers by messenger.
Mm-hmm.
And so I told my brother, hey, look, I have this. And then he sent me family tree that they had genealogies made for them. Of course, is our mother and her father,
Okay.
and their father. Sorry. So it's half my line.
Correct.
So, and from there it kept on going on, and me and my brother, we were talking about, what she doesn't want to say who my birth father is or was.
So, Gus, have you found your biological father yet?
Yes, I found who he is. It was done through DNA.
Okay.
It took a very long time because my mother didn't want to say, but I needed to find a name.
Is he still alive?
No, he passed away in 1983, and it took me almost a year because through DNA it's not easy. The work that you have done, and there were quite a few search angels that were helping me. I'm not a search angel. I know a little bit.
And what is a search angel?
A search angel is a person that has the ability to work with the DNA and your matches and trace through DNA your biological family.
Ooh, cool.
So,
have you found, did he father other children? Like, do you know that?
yes, he has, or he had, with his wife, four more children, and outside the marriage, he had me and another girl. She was also given up for adoption. I don't know the name for that girl.
Okay.
Do have the names for the siblings. So,
okay. Have you contacted them?
Well, yeah, the search angel that was helped me or did the final location of the person. She reached out to them because they don't speak English; they speak only French, and they the three sisters. They didn't answer.
Okay.
And finally, then she reached out to the boy or the brother, and he said that he had spoken with the sisters, and they don't want any communication.
They don't know what they're missing.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
They are they're entitled, but the reason that they gave or he gave is that he made them had a horrible life.
Okay.
That I was lucky that I was giving up for adoption, and please try not to reach out. Yeah, to contact them. Still,
did he himself have any brothers or sisters?
Yeah, he had brothers and sisters. So, but the question was he the real father?
Is he the real father?
And the only way that we could confirm that was with the DNA test. That we couldn't do it to a sibling because they didn't want anything to do. But we found a nephew to my father.
Okay.
That did accept doing a DNA test, and I sent the test. And
so you found a connection then?
Yeah, he came back as a cousin, full cousin. So yes,
okay.
That's the only.
Able to share that information with your birth mother?
No, because she had passed away already.
Okay.
After we found it. So, but yeah, the process was very long. I had several search angels telling me, because I had done a wide DNA test, and they were telling me not to do anything with that because it was almost impossible to find. The only match that I had was with someone that the common ancestor was from 1523.
Wow.
And but of course the white DNA tells you that that's your paternal lineage, so it had to be that last name, which is Boavan, I think it's pronounced. And I started building a tree with all his descendants.
Beautiful.
That turned my family tree into a tree with 253,000 individuals.
What?
Yeah, it's a big tree.
Wow.
and it took a very, very long time. So I got into a roadblock, and but I had a description of my biological father that Secretariat de la Adopción Internacional gave me. That's the only information that they had about him. A description that my mother gave.
Were you able to ever see a picture of him?
No.
No?
No, I don't have a picture of him. I've only seen a picture of his headstone.
Okay.
That's.
And where is he buried?
In Canada. In Canada, in the Alma area.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's close to Chicoutimi, in the Saguenay region.
Will you be visiting it when we have the so-called big history event?
Oh yeah. I don't know in what cemetery he is, but yeah, I will try to find out and try to visit. At least I know part of my ancestors were buried, so I can go and see all that. So
and that's a bonus. And you know, hats off to search angels who are able to locate things like this. You know, even finding a cemetery or finding a lineage, finding a little bit of history to help connect.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
A lot of work goes into finding family.
Oh yeah, they do a wonderful job. They do these out of the love for other people, and because they like doing it. In our organization, they don't charge a single penny. We don't charge for help.
Not in ours anyway. No.
Yeah, and their job is excellent. They are warm people, and we have people, you know, search angels that speak English. Others speak English and French. Other only English. So we're trying to cover all the bases.
That is true.
It's a very long story, but going back to, you know, to that moment when I was talking to my brother, then finally she said that she was raped by 3 guys, and that's the reason why she could say, because she didn't know. And I think that I was a little upset that she wouldn't say, and at that point then I said I need to make peace, and decided to go visit for the first time them in Canada. So that was end of July 2018, and July and the beginning of August, and there's where I met them and went to their town, Chicoutimi.
Okay.
And there were already had made connections with some DNA relatives, cousins like you. Okay. And somewhere in the area, there was another one from England that was traveling to Canada in those days. So we said, why don't we get together? And we made a small meeting, and there we are. Even my youngest son's godmother, she's also adopted, and my parents helped 25 couples to adopt.
Oh, that's beautiful.
24 in Cuba and the last one in Puerto Rico. Well, this girl, my son's godmother, she was the last couple they helped in Puerto Rico, sorry. Part of the whole group.
Wow.
These are only 12 of the 24 couples that adopted in Cuba.
Wow.
And that's on my right, that's me. And next to me is my little sister. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So, yes, we had a great time. And that led to many, many other things, even to a huge event that we're planning for 2022.
Absolutely. The big history happening.
Yes. So, but that's another story for another video. So I'm not going to.
Absolutely.
Just
Well,
stay in touch for that one.
Everybody needs to stay in touch because it's going to be epic. Epic, I tell ya. But anyway, Gus, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you. We will be doing it again soon because I think our viewers need to hear about this big event that's going to happen. And feel free to join us weekly. We'll be doing these. Well, not necessarily Gus and I, but I'll be doing it weekly. He might be doing it weekly in another language. We're still playing around with that. So right now where it stands, big history happening.
Yes.
Big history.
Big history happening. Please, I think Bernadette is going to include a link to the event.
Right there.
There's a small flyer that we had on the event also. And
and you can also find us on Facebook under Quebec Adoptions.
AACDQ.
Correct.
And please like, and subscribe, please.
Yes.
Help us get this word out about the stories of people that really are looking. Not only people looking, we're going to have interviews, I believe, of search angels, how they do the work, and people in other areas that are always part of the adoption and search and reunion part of the whole thing.
Well, it's been a pleasure, Gus, and we'll definitely be chatting again soon. And remember to like, to share, and to subscribe.
Thank you, Bernadette, for everything.